Hello.
Thank you for taking the time to share a little bit about you. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Well, my name is Emily. I am 31 years old. My favorite color is pink. My favorite animal is giraffe. I love giraffes, which is funny because I'm short and they're really tall.
What are you up to these days?
Well, I got my tiny house that I'm living in. I got my dog that I've got out there with me, and she is rambunctious, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Very high energy.
Tell us about, how did you end up deciding on a tiny house?
Well, after school, we were trying to figure out where I would live. And this tiny houses, we loved watching the house shows and stuff. And so they just decided that we would get me a tiny house and put it in the backyard. Because we didn't know, like, it's hard, at the time it would be hard for me to go off and live in a different town. And so that way I could stay close to my parents and get a job there in the town. So, yep, so we got me a tiny house, and it took a few years to get it up and running, but now that I'm living out there, it's great. And
how long have you lived in the tiny house?
Really, technically, off and on for the past 2-3 years.
Okay.
But we got the house back in 2016.
Okay.
But we got it with it not finished, and so it just took some time and money to to put it together. We had to put the walls in for the bathroom and for the bedroom, and furnish it. And then, in fact, I'm pretty sure it was just last year that we finally got my pantry and cabinets, and got me a new fridge because I was using a mini fridge, which that does not work. And so we got me a new fridge.
So what are the things that you love about having your own space?
It's really nice because I'm able to have my dog out in my house with me, and it's nice to not have to. I got a TV out there, so if I want to go out there and watch my own shows or watch TV, or if I just need some quiet time, because I do spend some time in my parents' house, then I can go out there and have my separate space. Because I don't like to depend on others to help me with things, and so, but I do have to, and I feel like I always will need help, and so that's why it's good that I'm in my parents' backyard. So I'm independent, but at the same time,
you have the support.
I have the support. That if I'm struggling with something, then I have the help that I need.
Excellent. That's so great. I think that's inspirational for many people who are looking at different sort of models to, what the living arrangement options should be. And certainly I think all of us have, when we see those tiny house shows, I think of them quite romantically, and I think it's like a wonderful setup that you have.
It is, and that's what, like, we love watching the house shows, and so we even considered getting an RV. Like, we've seen people doing tiny houses out of RVs and out of school buses, and we're like, well, I don't know about that. But we ended up getting just a 14 by 36, I think it was.
Okay.
A storage shed.
Yeah.
And we were able to get in there and get it. And my uncle and aunt and cousin actually came down and helped put in like paint walls and put in the floors and stuff.
Exciting.
And so they really kind of helped me be able to move in there.
Wow.
And so yeah, it's been really great living.
That's great.
Living out there in.
So now that you're done school and you're living there, what's your sort of your daily routine?
Well, again, my dog. I take care of her and play with her, and then throughout the week I will go to my mom's school and volunteer and help with lunch. I needed to be able to do something. I can't work a ton of hours, so not enough to have part-time, but Mom was needing help at the school, and I love helping and volunteering, so I go out to the school and help with lunch, and that's 3 days a week. And then the other 2 days, I kind of just, if I need to go to the store, I need to do laundry. I have my sister and brother-in-law and nieces and nephews in town, although my nieces and nephews are at school. But my sister, so I can hang out with her. And then after this, when we get back home, I'm going to try to find something else to do, something else that I can do, because that's what I need.
You want more things to do?
I want more things to do, because I'm seeing that the days that I'm not doing as much, I can get depressed.
Yeah.
And so that can be difficult. But being here, it's definitely, as you can see, I'm
in good spirits.
I'm an extrovert, so I get my energy from being around people. So when I'm at home by myself, even with my dog, it's very easy for me to get slumped down and.
But that's a really important thing to even know about yourself.
And I like to watch TV, so then it's easy for me to just to watch an episode, and then I'm like, well, I can watch another one. And then before you know it, I've watched 5 hours of TV, and then so.
But that's you're very self-aware to even know that you can.
Not always. Not always. Sometimes my parents have to point it out to me.
Yeah.
And I don't always want to listen, and I'm like, I'm fine. I can and so then when I look back and I'm just like, can I really say that I was productive today? Like, I mean, it's just, and the days, I'm trying to remind myself, the days that I do get up and I do dishes, laundry, go to the store, I do more stuff, I feel more productive.
Yeah.
I love surprising people, so I love doing things without being asked.
Okay.
So I try to let that be my motivator, and whenever I clean the kitchen, Mom loves a clean house. I mean, you love a clean. I mean, who doesn't want a clean house? And so I'm like, I'm gonna clean the kitchen today, so then that way, because Mom's the principal of the school, and so she had a long day at work, and to come home and to be able to have a clean kitchen, clean living room, it's just to make her have that feeling. I mean, it makes me have a good feeling because I feel productive because
you're contributing and you're helping somebody.
Let her, come home to a clean house.
Yeah.
But it's getting to the motivation. It's remembering that, I gotta do stuff, and it's making myself do it.
Yeah. It's kind of the discipline part. So you're motivated, but being disciplined.
Yes.
And to do.
Yes, I'm motivated, but the self-discipline, that's where it gets.
Yeah. And I think we all struggle with that. And I think just even recognizing that what the challenge is like very, very important.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what about are you involved in any kind of hobbies or social activities aside from going to the school? And
well, I haven't done it much lately, but I do like to knit. I have an aunt who she crochets and knits and stuff, so she taught me how to do that, and so I would make bracelets because she taught me with my fingers how I can make bracelets and bookmarks and stuff with the yarn, and then later she taught me with the knitting needles and stuff. So I started it last year, and I may have started it 2 years ago, but I started making a scarf.
Wow,
and
that's impressive.
With the needles, and I kind of like do it and kind of doing what I'm not supposed to do. She's like, no, you can't start a project and not finish it.
Yeah.
And that's something else too. I start a lot of things, but finishing them, that's been a challenge. But when I do finish it, it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
Well, for example, found out today from Dr. Krantz that after 20 years, they finally found my gene change. And
you found it out today?
Yes, today. He let me know today, here at the retreat. Since 2004, they were looking. I was put in I think it was the first research study.
Yeah.
They found out through the genome sequencing that I had the NIPBL
Okay.
gene change. I think it was through through DNA samples that they got from
Yeah.
my parents. They were able to
Figure out.
use it to figure out. And basically how he explained it was, I've got 2 copies, and one copy is perfectly fine, and then the other copy is the NIPBL.
Okay.
Um,
So you finally have an answer.
yes, and I've been going around telling everybody basically, because it's been every conference. We've been like, has there been any news about gene change with Emily yet? And they're like, no, not yet.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
today,
I've seen you at probably 8 conferences. So
and today to get that validation,
Yeah.
I knew I had CdLS. I was diagnosed at the age of 3,
Yeah.
and then it was clinically confirmed at 12. And so I knew I had it, but to get the actual gene change and for it to be final, like it's just a great feeling is finally knowing. Well, some people it's kind of like Christmas, because it's
Wow, that's great. Because we
yeah.
were talking yesterday, and your mom was sharing about how you guys were still trying to figure it out, and you got the answer today from Dr. Ian Krantz.
Yes,
That's exciting.
and I kind of think of it as an early birthday present, because my birthday is October 27th, so it's next month, and so...
Okay, that's exciting. So what do you think about, these are kind of the benefits of coming together as a big CdLS family, because we are a big family, and a lot of these clinicians like you, I mean, you've seen Dr. Ian Krantz at every single conference since the beginning of time. So, and you had mentioned how when you come here you feel like, because you're an extrovert, you love talking. So tell me more about what it feels like, because you've been to a lot of sort of gatherings with CdLS families at conferences, and this is the first retreat. So tell me a little bit about what it feels like to you when you come together in these kind of CdLS events.
Well, it makes me feel at home, because I'm with my people in a sense. I'm with other people with the same syndrome, and it's just, I don't have to, it's easy for me to be myself. Not that it's not around other people, but being, when I'm not around, sometimes, when growing up, felt like an outcast in a sense. I was different. I had disabilities, learning disabilities, and I was small. I was different. So I didn't think that I would have many friends growing up. An outcast. I felt like I was an outcast and that I didn't belong in the world. And but I've met people throughout, and then and then once you meet in the CdLS community, they make you feel like you're someone that is beyond the syndrome. And like when I'm with my CdLS friends, with the CdLS community, I don't feel like I have CdLS. I feel like I feel like I belong. And
that's a great way of putting it.
And this is my home away from home. I mean, it's
yeah, it's definitely a wonderful family where there's an unspoken connection, and we understand we're in this together, and there's that sense of connection and belonging, like you said.
And that's one of the reasons why, like, I love the CdLS Foundation, because they help you get in touch with other families that, because when I was diagnosed, we didn't know anybody. And my mom, at 3, when I was diagnosed, she didn't know anybody. And then once we started getting connected through the foundation with other families and other people, and we made it to gatherings and stuff. Now, like, I mean, we're a part of this big family. And so yeah, I'm so grateful for the foundation and all the help that they've given us, and they continue to give us. They don't stop there. They see through all of it, and
that's wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you
now,
for sharing.
Now, if I could have just remembered that when I did the other one, I overthink a lot.
Yeah.
And see, this setting is easier for me because there's no cameras around me, and so it's easier.
Yeah, well, you're very natural, and you have a really nice way of sharing your view and your experiences. So
Yeah.
thank you for being honest, and thank you for being brave to share your experience and your life.
Yes, no problem. Do you have any more questions for me?
Is there anything you want to share?
Yes, actually. I have this famous tagline that I say, and it could be really used with disability. So, I can't even remember, I couldn't tell you today how I came up with it, but I have CdLS, but CdLS does not have me. And because I don't let the syndrome define who I am. I don't use my disability to stop me from doing something. But that's for anybody. It could be for Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, Turner syndrome, any disability. So again, I have disability, but it does not have me. And so that's just kind of...
That's a great message.
And so, because I would used to say, oh, CdLS, but I'm like, you know what? Other disabilities can use that tagline too.
Mm-hmm.
And I want everyone to feel that way. It's something that has helped me to be able to get through life, is not putting limitations on what I can and cannot do, and not letting others tell me what I can and cannot do. Doctors told me several stuff growing up, and my parents, that I would not do, and I had lots of help, but I kept with it, and I was able to do it. I graduated high school with the advanced academic diploma, which in the U.S. is the highest diploma you can get in high school.
That's amazing.
And doctors said I probably wouldn't go to college or drive, and then told my parents not to expect much from me. I wouldn't necessarily say they were told to baby me, but and mom's like, nope, and she treated me like she did my older sister. And then when my younger brother came along, so I was in the middle, I'm the middle child, and because of it, I am where I am today. I love meeting new people and telling my story, and I don't know that I would be here without the way that she raised me, without the way that my parents raised me.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's a good message for everybody with disabilities, but also for parents. And I think you're a testament to the way in which our attitude and approach to the challenges that we have, and how you're optimistic and you challenge yourself.
Well, and a lot of people don't think that there's help out there, and there is. So I did go to college, but I had help. There was a disability center on the campus that I went to, and so it was nice being able to have that. There are schools like that out there, and I don't know that people know that. And they're like, oh, well, my child can't. So then they lose hope, because then they're like, oh, well, and it's just, you gotta ask for it. And I was not, whenever I was in school and I needed help, I would ask somebody. And I quickly made friends when I was there. And if I had problems in history, I made a friend that was good in history and was able to help me. And then throughout the school, I again quickly learned where, because they had different help centers, like English and for
the different areas,
the different subjects in school, and so that was very, very helpful.
Well, I think you have a lesson I think all of us can learn is that we all struggle with certain things, and definitely not being shy to ask for help, and the things that we can all succeed in if we just ask for help.
Right, yes. And for those that, like, for trying to get Social Security, people are like, well, my child's been denied, you gotta keep going, because we found out in the system they are trying to weed out those that don't need it and that are just trying to get it. And so we kept trying, and because of that, I was approved. Not
That's great.
that.
That's great.
So it's great. Like there was families here at the retreat that I've met that they were kind of having we were denied, and so I was like, keep at it. Because when you just give up, then you're not going to get approved.
Yeah.
But if you keep at it and you keep going and you keep proving, oh, well, this person actually really needs it, then.
Well, and I think even this is another benefit of people coming together is that people who are further along on that journey is that you're helping to give hope to people, but also educating them based on your experiences and your journey about how valuable that is for people when they know that certain stages in life are coming up and they have some options and they're learning from you as well.
Yes, and then now driving. I'm going through all the things that doctors have told me. So driving, it did take some time. It was discouraging when all my friends at the age of 16 and 17 were getting no license, and I wasn't. I didn't get my license until I was 24 or 25. But when I stopped comparing it to being a race, because I was like, oh, well, my friends have their license and they've had it. I'm like, it's not a race. Whenever I get my license, I will get my license. And because some people don't get it. I've had friends and family members that they don't drive at all, and because they let the fear of driving, and I do have. That was one of my biggest challenges, was driving, and it still is. But I'm like, okay, I can do this, and
That's amazing.
and so it's limited. I haven't been able to drive from different towns yet, well, big towns. Like I live in a small town called Dothan, and about 3.5 hours away is Birmingham. So I haven't mastered driving that far by myself yet, but I could drive 40 minutes from my house.
Well, that's amazing. That gives you autonomy, and just even knowing that if you want to go somewhere, you can go somewhere. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because I'm like, as long as I can make it to the store, church, where I need to go, and one of the things that I tried to do when first moving was learning different routes.
Yeah.
Because when I had a job, when I was able to work a little bit, I worked at a Dollar General, at a retail store, and when I first started, there was a route that I would take, and that was the route that I would take because, again, driving, that was when I was first starting to drive by myself, and so I had learned the route. That route was blocked one day.
Oh boy.
And I had called my dad because I'm like, where am I supposed to? And so he had to, because I was in the car, and I didn't think about looking at it, so I was like, hey, can you tell me? Because he had lived there longer than I had. And so he was able to look and tell me an alternate route that was easy enough for me to do. And so then I went that one. And then after that, wherever I was going, Walmart, church, I learned multiple routes. So then that way, if one day I was going there that route, I'll be, okay, I would know where to go. And there's still some places that I haven't been because it scares me, and I'm trying to get up the courage to do it.
Well, you've made it this far, so all in time. So
yes.
You've done amazing.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story, Emily. I really appreciate it.
No problem. If you ever have any questions in the future, I am an open book. And
that's great.
Yes.
I'm sure we'll talk.
Yes. So again, I just want to reiterate, I have CdLS, but CdLS does not have me.
That's for sure. Thank you, Emily.
You are welcome.
You're awesome.